everyone. Thanks for being here today. I hate to tell you how gorgeous it is outside. So as Nick mentioned, I'm here from Discovery Communications. I trust that you're all familiar with our on-air TV networks, Discovery Channel, Science Channel, Animal Planet, many others. I actually don't work on any of those brands. The group that I'm a part of is a really unique aspect of the company, a really fun place to be working. We're based here in San Francisco, and we are focused all on original web-native networks for the company. So how do we get our quality entertainment to viewers who are really getting their entertainment and their news online? So my group, we're in charge of understanding and growing our audiences. Most of our fans are on Facebook and YouTube. Our two main brands, our two networks, Seeker and SourceFed, are attracting all of our viewership on those platforms as well as our website. We're getting about 300 million video views per month to about 50 million social followers. In those platforms, we're not in control of all of those. They don't always give us the amount of data and opportunities for personalization that we would love. So the way that we approach that and tackle that problem is really thinking about how do we learn how to customize to the platforms itself and our audience on those distinct platforms, and how do we make that work for us. So this presentation is going to be a lot about video. Hopefully some of you guys are working with video or would like to in the future, and I should have plenty of time after to answer any questions you may have. So I'll go quickly through talking about the audience and platform insights that we can get from some of the primary social platforms. We'll talk about customizing the content itself, both in pre- and post-production, and then really how you take a holistic approach, given the limitations of some of those platforms, to meet all the goals that you need to for your brand. Some assumptions to start. We're no longer in an age where we just have a social media strategy or approach. You really need a Facebook strategy, an Instagram strategy, whatever platforms you're on. Some of these platforms are no more similar than TV is to radio. We also know, I think we are using mobile phones more than any other device, more than TV now. What are we doing on our phones? We're looking at social media, and we're consuming content on social media. So your social, mobile, and content audiences are really one and the same, and that's a big part of a lot of incoming traffic that you can glean. So finding this customized approach is really important and can be super impactful. And then lastly, if you're ignoring time and place of social and going at it with that blanket approach, you're really not doing a good job. And I'm sure that's not news to anybody here. So going into audience and platform insights, we know that these platforms are all different, and your fans, they expect different content. They have different expectations. There's a different set of rules, behavior, vocabulary on these platforms. Some of these social media platforms are only available on a mobile device. You can't even access them through desktop. So that is a huge barrier right there. I think of when I'm looking at Facebook on my mobile phone in bed before I can get out of the house in the morning, I'm expecting very different content than I am in the afternoon on my desktop. So all of these things, there are a lot of rules and opportunities that you can play with to get a custom approach. And then, quickly, where there is overlap, not all of your fans are following you across different platforms, but a lot of them are, and those are your super fans. They do expect a different experience and delivery on each of those. This is a quick peek at one of our bigger audiences for a show we have called Discovery News. It's all about really fun science news, discoveries, topics, questions. We have both a YouTube channel that has close to 2 million subscribers, and a Facebook page that is about 6.5 million fans there. And it's the same brand, same property, a lot of the same content, but pretty different audiences. Our YouTube audience is much more male. That's the majority of the fan base is in the U.S. They love personalities. They love the talent of our shows. They want that humor and connection. They're a little bit more liberal. They approach things a little bit more logically. And we know the threshold of content we can deliver there. It's no more than 3 videos a day, usually 2. Facebook is really different. It's a little bit more of a gender balance, a much more international audience. They really just want news and facts that you may expect from a brand called Discovery News. They're a little bit more conservative politically, and we cannot give them enough content. We're posting every hour, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Given that it's an international audience, we need to kind of keep in mind all those different time zones that we're delivering on. As we think of content customization, there's a lot of things to think about and address in that strategy. First of all, it's really important that you're doing this before content is created. There's only so much you can do to customize it after it's done. My group works really closely with our production group, the people who are actually shooting our videos or writing our articles. That custom approach on social, that's really going to make you look like a user and a fan, like you belong on that platform. That's where you get engagement, rather than looking like a marketer. And when we think about how to customize content, when we look at different platforms, there's things like format. Is it a video or a photograph? Is it horizontal or vertical on a mobile phone? Think about budget. If you have a limited budget, like most of us do, I wouldn't spend a lot of money on Snapchat or Instagram. It's disposable content. Spend it more on YouTube and Facebook, things that can be repurposed. Think about length, we'll think about topics, talent, any call to action. A lot of that is dictated by what the platform allows or encourages. And again, as I mentioned, repeating the same content, that's really a wasted opportunity. I get annoyed if I see the same message on Twitter to Instagram to Facebook. I feel like a brand's wasting my time. That's just how customized things are these days. So think about that as an opportunity to take that impression to the next level with a fan. This graph is one of our bigger success stories from the last year of adapting to Facebook video. Facebook added their native player March of last year. We were pretty quick to jump on that. We think, oh great, we're a video company. We make video every day. So we took the same videos that we were putting on YouTube, that our YouTube fans loved, and we uploaded them to Facebook. You can see that first month, we didn't get anywhere. No growth, no insights. We quickly realized, this is a different platform. These are different fans, different time of day, different expectations. We have to completely customize our video for Facebook. So in some cases, we were able to make a different edit of a video. In other cases, we had people creating content specifically for that platform, and it went nowhere else. So you can see it's still a pretty volatile growth. I don't want to talk about November of last year. I don't remember what was happening there. But now, within a year, we're up to 135 million views on the platform, which is almost equal to our presence on YouTube, which we've been on for about 6 years. And every month, we're still learning about what's working, how it's changing, how fans are reacting differently. It's just constant optimization and testing. And then lastly, before I get into some platform insights and how we approach them, this idea of the holistic strategy. If you want to customize content, you can't really do it on every social platform. You do need to figure out where does your brand need to be. Either that's where your fans are or where are you getting the actions that meet your goals. But you do have to pick and choose. Find the platforms that best meet your needs. I think it's also important to let the medium do what it does best. If you're frustrated with the lack of traffic or sales from Instagram, what else is that platform giving you? Is it just engagement and loyalty from your fans? If so, that's great. Work with it. The more you try and fight a platform and make it do things that it doesn't do naturally, the more you just alienate your fans, and again, you come off like a marketer. This is a quick snapshot of a social matrix. This is something we revisit every quarter, where we just look at all the different platforms, and we look at our content and our users, and we try to figure out how do we prioritize. And this is going to look different for every organization or content. It's definitely not a thought on the platforms itself, but more our content and our business. And then I'll go through 3 of our favorite platforms at the moment, what's working best for us and where we're having the most fun with our fans. YouTube to start. It's the OG of video. That is where video fans go. That's what they are expecting. It's what they want all day, video. YouTube is a little bit more, there's so much content on YouTube, but I think what's really unique about it is this idea of fostering relationships and intimacy. A lot of the videos that you see are still webcam style. It's a host or, a person, talent, looking directly at you and talking to you. It really fosters this relationship, and fans thrive off of that. They love that. And a lot of the other platforms don't quite have that niche. The advantage of YouTube is search. It's the second biggest search engine in the world, which is amazing. So all those keywords you can add into titles, anything newsworthy, topical, niche audiences, all that stuff's going to return on YouTube. And that search power also means that older content can always surface back. The way we think about YouTube when we customize our content, it is higher quality content. You see here that YouTube counts a view as 30 seconds. That's the most stringent out of any of the video platforms right now. They know that if you go to click on a video and if you abandon it in 5 seconds, it either wasn't what it promised to be or it was a bad video. And so YouTube's not going to surface that to fans anymore. So prioritizing what they call watch time, which is really how many minutes or what percentage of the video the average viewer got through, that's really how you succeed on the platform. And so all of the content we make, we think of watch time. If we're having trouble with watch time, we may shorten our videos, or we may put engagement points at key times to kind of reinvigorate or re-engage the viewer. If it's really long, we may break it up where you can jump ahead. So there's lots of different ways that you can approach that. The frequency on YouTube is supremely important. It's really hard to grow a channel if you are publishing less than once a week. Most of our shows are publishing daily or even twice a day. And again, it's that sort of repeated relationship that fans love. We know that people do really well on YouTube. Anytime you can put in staff, talent, spokespeople, interviews, any of that is going to be engaging and enticing to fans there. It's also a great platform for direct engagement. So you can ask fans something. They can leave you questions. They can leave you the answer in the comments. You can direct them to a website. You can direct them to watch the next video, to share this. Those kind of direct call to actions work great on YouTube. And then lastly, one other boon of the platform is this evergreen value. Old videos are always resurfacing on YouTube. And that's done by the keywords that I mentioned in your headline or your tags. All of the videos that we shoot for YouTube, we may be talking about current news or events, but we shoot them in a way that they will never feel outdated. They will always have some value going forward after 30 days, after 3 months. So I'll show you a quick example of one of our YouTube videos. This is from a brand called Seeker Stories, and it's headed by journalist Laura Ling. She is doing a lot of great storytelling from around the world, different people, places, movements, and this will give you an idea of the content we make for that platform.
My mom actually told me about this new project that she heard from a friend of hers. So I ran to my computer and I started writing an application.
It's almost like a dorm, but the people aren't young, they're old.
In Finnish culture, young people all pretty much move out when they are 18. But now they are not going to get their independence because they don't have money to move out in Helsinki if they want to live here. The prices are very, very high. Our project is called A Home That Fits. This is one solution for youth homeless problem in Helsinki.
The application process was quite long because there was, I think, a little bit over 300 applicants. I was really ecstatic because basically I was homeless, not on the street, but homeless.
In a normal apartment, it's like the neighbors don't exactly talk to you because Finnish people are, I don't know, kind of shy. Here they were very welcoming. I had like this really heartwarming feeling that it's good to be here. I went to my neighbor. I was actually baking some like sweet buns, so I baked for her and she was like, oh, welcome, like come in, and we talked and we drank coffee.
Mielikuvan, että Mä olen vähän niin kuin kuu ja mä kaipaan aurinkoa, jotta mä voisin loistaa. Ja nyt mä tavallaan niin kuin odotan näistä nuorista sitä, että ne olisi se aurinko mulle.
The gap between young people and the old isn't that big that we can't be friends and can't interact and get along. So I guess in the bigger picture we can show the rest of the world, and especially Finland, that this is a good thing and that it's worth investing in, and that both young people and old people can benefit from something like this.
Okay, so that was about 3 minutes. That's a great length for us on YouTube. It's a little bit more of it's a full story. It demands some attention. Looking at Facebook, we see really different trends. Facebook video has just blown up. It is a huge priority for the company. I think they're getting 500 million people watching video every day. Very different it's also an algorithmically driven platform, but it's very different than YouTube. You are getting served videos and content that are either from brands you like or brands that your friends like. So it's a different way of filtering in content. Any video you do on Facebook right now is going to do better than any of your posts. One, because the company is really behind it and they're pushing it, especially live streams. That's even hotter than regular video on Facebook right now. But I think for pages that have over 1 million fans, something like 35% of your fans will see video, whereas only 4% will see text posts. And I think for photo posts, that's about 15%. So if you're looking to grow your Facebook reach and engagement, put some video up. That's going to work. Facebook's advantage is really user data. They know everything about us. It's scary. And they can serve content to you based on your past performances of what you've been interested in. People can obviously target and market to you in much more specific ways. So as we look at Facebook, what we've learned over the past year is, first and foremost, brevity. There's a really short attention span on the platform, whereas like 3 to 5 minutes may work for us on YouTube. It's like 45 seconds to 90 seconds on Facebook. The videos are fed in your feed. They'll start auto-playing as soon as they're on your screen. And unless you tap into that, click on anything, it'll play without sound. And that's designed to not, so as you're scrolling Facebook, you don't have 1 million videos going off. But most users who are watching video on Facebook never activate sound. And so we've found that we really have to design our content to work with that. So there may be music set to attract, but everything that you need to know in the video is text on screen. And that keeps viewers really engaged. The frequency is just as important here. As soon as, if you post a video, your reach will expand. You want to keep up that growth by posting more and more video. If you stop posting engaging posts, your reach will shrink back down and you'll reach fewer of your followers. Another important rule that we've learned is that Facebook loves Facebook. Anything that drives within the platform will be prioritized. So that's why that using the native player is so important. If we try to post a YouTube link on Facebook, it's actually going to hurt our page. Even linking off to our own website is more harmful. So there's a lot of benefits in using the native player. I'll show you a quick example of a Facebook video. I think you'll see how different this is than the YouTube example. And this is about a minute, I think, a minute and a half.
Standing at the exit point and you look at the view, you know that nature is definitely showing off.
So same brand that's under our Seeker network. You notice that the only action we drive is to share this post. We don't try to push viewers to a website. We just know it's not going to work. So obviously you don't need sound on your phone to get that. It's a lot more mainstream topics work better for us on Facebook, whereas YouTube we can get into some of these niche stories and niche audiences. And then the last platform I'll talk about is Snapchat. I think this is a really challenging platform for brands, but it's super fun, and I think a lot of viewers are willing to interact with brands, and they want branded content on Snapchat. So obviously it's only available on mobile, it's vertical, you have to capture content through your phone rather than uploading it, and so for a content company, it's kind of frustrating for us. Again, we have all this video that's like shot on beautiful cameras and we can't use any of it. If you're not on the Discover platform where a lot of media brands are, you are limited to those specs. Reasons, I think the top 2 reasons why fans love Snapchat, they say that they love creating their own stories. They're getting to create media. And then secondly, they love that their parents aren't on it, which I think is really important, especially if you want to reach young people. They're not on Facebook anymore. So customizing content here, I think the biggest hurdle that we've had, and for most brands that I talk to, is really just embracing the platform. You're not going to get the sleek, polished content that you're used to with YouTube or Facebook. For our brand, it works really well. We can kind of embrace that. We can be casual. We can put up fun content. Some of the TV brands at Discovery, that wouldn't match their brand. They can't quite get away with some of the more web-native stuff that we do. There's a ton of engagement that you can drive on Snapchat by asking questions, encouraging responses from your fans, and you really can get onto the one-on-one engagement here, which is great. A big hurdle of Snapchat is there's not really an analytics dashboard, so it's hard to as marketers, figure out how you're growing, get those insights, and then also share those within your company. So hopefully we'll get more of that soon. I'll show you a quick video of Snapchat. You can start playing that. It is admittedly pretty boring to watch, not on a phone. But this is an example of how we get over not having, if we don't have talent that we can work with, this is stuff my team does just for fun, and our fans go crazy for it. This is for a show that focuses on news, world topics, politics, global affairs, and we do like a guess the recent headline through emojis. Some of them are really hard. But our fans love this. They take screen captures. They try and study it. They'll get back to us with their own answers. And it's just a fun way where we're embracing the platform. We're kind of letting go of some of the needs we have for our brands and everything to look perfect, and just kind of go with what's working there. So the next slide, maybe you guys want to see some of what these were. They're old too. So there's a lot of fun stuff that we are pursuing on Snapchat. A lot of brands are getting into actually making shows there, whether it's a TV network or a newspaper or website. So there's a lot of fun stuff happening. And then lastly, I'll just end with a few suggestions, things that we're constantly working on at Discovery, is really just learning from our data, looking at the data every single day as soon as we publish content to figure out what's working, what's not, looking at it from a pretty micro and macro level to find patterns, to learn about our audience. The things that we can't learn from the data or figure out, we ask our fans. We'll ask them in the video, tell us what you think. Do you want this? We'll test out different types of episodes and just see how they perform. We're doing surveys, and our fans love to respond and tell us all the data. Content customization, it's expensive and it takes, resources, and there's a lot of ways that you can repackage a lot of this and reuse. I mentioned that a lot of the customization is really just down to an edit for us. So we're doing that as much as we can. We're also trying to think of how do we repurpose old content on some platforms that, again, is still evergreen and our fans love it. And then lastly, the best recommendation is really just watch all the content, whether it's video, photos, reading articles, to see what's working and what people are engaging with. So that's it. I'm happy to take any questions if anybody has any.
What are kind of your favorite social tools out there as far as like for posting and whatnot and managing all of the different platforms?
Yeah, that's a good question. We love Tubular, which is a video platform. They're pulling in API data from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Vine, any social platform that has video. And so it's a really great place to get like cross-platform insights. You can get pretty robust analytics in YouTube and Facebook, but when you're looking for that bigger view, Tubular's great. They also, you can get a lot of competitive and market research there too. And then there's another tool that I always forget the name of. I think it's called, what is it? No, you know what? I'm forgetting it. Let me come back to you with that. There is a tool that we use, and I always forget the name of it, but it's really great at identifying what's trending online. So we come in the morning, we look at that, we see what stories are popping, and sometimes we'll figure out, okay, plenty of brands have done this, how can we take that topic from a different angle? And we'll see what fans are responding to. Any other questions? Great, thanks guys.